hours. And this particular night I'm reading and I come across the story where these Pharisees are trying to trap Jesus, and they hold up a coin and they say, should we pay our taxes to Caesar and all of these things? And Jesus says, he just says this, he says, whose face is on the coin? And the guy looked and he says, Caesar's face is on the coin. He said, then give to Caesar what is Caesar's and render to God what is God. And I remember seeing the wisdom and thinking, my goodness, this man truly is the Son of the living God. I had the same experience that when the disciples was in the boat with Jesus Christ and the waves was roaring and the waves seemed to be tearing up the boat, and they go and they get Jesus and don't you care that the boat's about to come apart, Jesus? And Jesus is like, man, you guys ain't learning nothing. He goes to the front of the boat. He looks out at the winds and he looks at the sea and he says, peace, be still. And you know what happened? The wind ceased and the boat stopped rocking. And you know what happened to them old boys in the boat? They said, what kind of man is this? In other words, I've never seen a man like this man before. Truly, he must be the Son of the living God. What happens when you read these things in the Bible? Your faith begins to build. Your boldness comes out. You can't keep it inside any longer. You got to go into the highways and the hedges and just shine your light and just burn for Christ. In the same way, beloved, all of our doctrine has got to come back to this same point. When we're studying, when we're giving ourselves to know more and to learn more, when we're having our theological discussions, everything has got to come back to that point where our faith is just increasing in God. And because of that, as a default of that, our love for God grows more and more and more. And because our love for God grows more and more and more, our love for our neighbors grow more and more and more. Beloved, we've got to come to this point where we understand that when you do, when the time comes, and the time will come, I guarantee you, for every one of you, one day the time will come where you're going to meet someone, and they're going to be in the church maybe, and maybe they go to another church, and you're going to have some disagreements. There's going to come a time where you're going to feel compelled to say something, and you got to have the right motive, brothers and sisters. What should be our motive for that? Should it be to prove that I'm right and you're wrong, or that I know more, I'm just theologically smarter, or to prove your point? No, beloved, it's got to be rooted in your love for that individual. But before it can be rooted in your love for the individual, it's got to be rooted in your love for truth of God. It all comes from there. You can never love an individual purely until you love God wholly.